Hello, everybody. This is Steve at Restoring Hope Counseling and Coaching. Thank you so much for joining me today on this video. Thank you for investing in yourself. And I wanted to say a special thank you for partnering with us to help us to train and provide leadership coaching and training to 30,000 mental health professionals, addiction professionals, and faith leaders around the globe. Now, some people have asked me, well, why did I include faith leaders in this? So let me take about a minute or so just to explain this. It's a very good question. So what I've found from my local practice here, as I've interacted some with the faith community, what I've found is, and we know from research as well, is that when people who are involved with the faith community have their first mental health issue, whether that's a severe psychotic break or they've been traumatized in some way or they're experiencing some anxiety or depression or whatever the case may be, that the vast majority of people in the faith communities go to their pastors and go to their faith leaders before they come to a professional. And so I've found that many pastors here local to me here in Cincinnati have said to me that they really want to help. They really do want to help. They really have a big heart to help, but they feel ill-equipped to help. And so they though will do their best to interact and try to help the people in their congregation, in their parish, or whatever the case may be. I also have some friends who are living here in the United States now who have grown up and lived for a majority of their life in a third world country. And so what they've told me is that in those countries, many times in the third world countries, there are really no formalized mental health system. In a population of maybe 60 million people, there may be just a handful, literally just a handful of trained counselors or therapists or psychiatrists. And so much of the burden in those countries will then fall upon the faith community and the leaders of the faith community. And so we are including the faith leaders globally and here in our country in this cause to train people, simply because the faith leaders tend to bear much of the burden with the people in their congregations. So that's the explanation. Hopefully that helps. If you have any questions about that, feel free to send me a message, and I'll be happy to interact with you over that. And I also want to thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself. So that's very exciting for me to think that in some way I'm adding value to you and I'm helping you. So if you've watched the first video, you know that we talked about leadership development. If you haven't watched the first video, I'm going to suggest that you go back and watch the first video before you watch this one. Really, the purpose of these videos, really, and how I thought about this as I created the videos, was that the videos would build upon one another. So if you just jump in on this video, you will have missed out on some of the information I gave in the last video. So please go back and watch that first and come back to this one. Okay, so one of the things I want to say, kind of going back to the last video, is leaders don't really think of themselves. Leaders think more about how I can add value to other people for their benefit, not necessarily add value to other people for my benefit. That's the difference between a manipulator and a motivator. Leaders motivate. They motivate other people to be better, to do more, to increase their capacity, and other people add value to people for their own benefit. So what I'm going to encourage you to do today, and especially as you walk through these videos, is to think more like a leader who's going to have a positive impact. And that kind of leader is going to be somebody who adds value to others with no thought of getting anything in return. So we add value to people with no strings attached. Now, what I have found as I've coached some people free, some people have bought me lunch, to spend an hour and a half with me and my business partner to be of help to them. What I've found, though, is as we give to other people, it will always come back to be helpful to me. Not necessarily financially, although that sometimes happens, but most of the time comes back as a benefit to me through relationships, through connections that they have. They send people to me for assistance, or just the gratitude that I feel in helping other people. And so leaders give to others and not get from others. Leaders give to others. And so at the end of our last video, I encouraged you to be a leader who will have a positive impact on the world and community, and not one that has a negative impact on the world and the community. And the difference is a leader who leaves a positive impact gives to others. So in today's video, I want to talk briefly about personal growth. Now, this may sound contradictory to what I just said, with leaders give to other people and not necessarily take from other people. But personal growth is probably the most important aspect of your own leadership development. It's important for you to give to other people. It's also important for you to invest and give it to yourself. So you can't give to other people. You probably have heard the saying, you can't give to other people what you yourself don't have. So you can't give leadership or coaching unless you received it, unless you've grown in it. And so today in this video, let's talk about how to invest in yourself in such a way that you can give to other people. Okay, so personal growth is about investing in yourself and identifying in yourself the areas in which you need to grow the most in. So have you ever noticed that the hardest person for you to lead is yourself? The hardest person for me to lead is myself. I'm a terrible follower of me. When I had decided to lose some weight and exercise, man, it's really difficult for me to follow my own lead. And you know, when I've decided I need to go out and exercise, I need to eat better, but then my wife or a family makes an incredible meal that's unhealthy for me, it's really difficult for me to turn away from that meal, for example. And I think one of the reasons why I'm the hardest person for me to lead and you're the hardest person for you to lead is because we know ourselves. We've been with ourselves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We know all of our background. We know all of the stresses and the events in our lives that have affected us today. And so those things influence our ability to lead ourselves. Now, it's easier to lead other people because we don't know all those things and we're not around them 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so the hardest person really for us to lead is ourselves. And so in the area of personal growth, which you'll see this theme kind of intertwined through many of the following videos, this area of personal growth is vitally important because we need to be able to lead ourselves if we're going to lead other people. Okay, so think about the areas in which you might need to grow personally. So these are areas that I'll throw out several. There's probably others that you can grow in, but I'll throw out some of mine and some of people that I'm leading and influencing right now. So let's say that you identify that you need to grow in the area of communication, that you need to be a better communicator to your team, to your staff, to your spouse, to your partner, to your kids, to your parents, to the soccer team you're coaching, whatever the case may be, that you just need to grow and want to grow in that area. Okay, so what do? You identify that need and you start getting some coaching or mentoring or reading books about communication. What's the result of that? You'll grow personally. Okay, let's say that an area of your personal growth needs to be in the area of relationships. Okay, excellent. Okay, that is, as a leader, as somebody who's trying to influence, relationships are really, really important. And so what do? Well, you start thinking about the current relationships that you have. You start thinking about what relationships that you have that are good and healthy and positive, and examine and self-reflect, why are they good, healthy, and positive? And perhaps you look at relationships that aren't so healthy and positive or good. What do? Well, you self-reflect and you start examining, why are these relationships not going well? We'll talk more about relationships in a future video, but the first step is for you to become aware of where you might be doing well in that area and where you might not be doing so well. But let's say an area of growth might be, how do I hire and fire people? That's been something that I sought personal growth in over the last year or so, when I had to let go one of my staff members, and afterwards I thought, man, I just let that go on too long, and I should have acted more quickly and intervened more quickly, because it had a negative effect on the rest of my staff. So I made phone calls to friends of mine who are leading organizations that are bigger and better than mine, and I asked if I could buy them lunch and sit with them and ask them some questions around hiring and firing. Every single one of them said yes, and every one of them accepted my offer to buy them lunch. And in the hour I spent with each one of those individuals, man, I got some gold. I got some wisdom and some great ideas of how to hire slow and fire fast. That's my new mantra. And so that's an example where I identified something I needed to grow in, and I sought some coaching and some mentoring around that. So personal growth is nothing. It's not mysterious. Personal growth is nothing ethereal necessarily. Personal growth is simply you identifying an area in your life, professionally or personally, that you want to grow and that you feel like you might lack in, and then begin to pursue and get educated and get some mentoring or some coaching in those areas. So personal growth is vitally important. You need to invest in yourself before you can invest in others. Now, what I did not say is invest in yourself instead of investing in others, but what's important is investing in yourself while you're investing in other people. You cannot give what you don't have. So I want to encourage you to begin to develop a personal growth plan. Again, we'll talk more about that in future videos as well. But begin to identify areas in your life, in your profession, in your personal life that you need to grow in, and begin to then establish some strategies of how you're going to grow and be better at those things. So hopefully this was helpful to you today. I'm excited that you're partnering with us. I'm excited that some value is added to you. I know value is added to me when I prepare these videos. And I'm interested in hearing from you. If you want to send me a message through this Patreon page, that'd be fantastic. I'd love to hear back from you, not only as to how I can be of more help to you, but if there are specific content areas or there's a specific question you'd like me to address, I'll be happy to address that. So thank you again for partnering with us. Thank you for investing in yourself. I'll talk to you soon. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.